sealant on these. Please don't freeze. Ah, damn it. It froze. Gotta reset that again. There you go. Ah, fuck it. It's fine. Right, I forgot to try to fix that one little spot. Damn. I need the tiniest little... All that for that one little spot. Trying to make it blend in. And I gotta let that dry for a little longer. Fuck. I forgot there were those little spots that overspill. Son of a bitch. get any problems? Oh, they look fine. Okay. Why is that happening? The whole screen flashed a couple times. That's not good. Is that happening only on my side, or is the... It's like glitching out. Uh... Hmm. Seems okay for now, but it really looks like my desk cam is dying. Poor old thing. Excuse me? Okay. Try unplugging it and replugging it again. Well, if my desk camera completely dies tonight, then I won't be able to stream because this is like the only thing I want to work on right now. Because I could work on something else, but I'm like set up to work on this, you know? Plug that back in. Okay, let's see if that holds. Try off. Acrylic dries really fast, so this should be ready to go. Put some of these away. Put these in their spot. Oh, heck. There's like a toothpick that got lost in here at some point. No, not a toothpick. A cotton swab, a Q-tip. Gross. Just extract that. I'm gonna throw that away because it's grossing me out. Hold on. Eh. The Midnight Walk? Never heard of it. Feel free to tell me about it when you get back. Mm, let that dry a bit longer. Okay. Let the second coat dry for a longer time before putting on the third coat. Probably doesn't need 3 coats, but decide which of these I want on the front and on the back. Oh. I think I want this one on the front. Let's do the back. Shake the cat hair off that. Coming together pretty good. I realize I have to redo the oranges, so I'm gonna take some time to do that. Because it's gonna be hard making sure all the pieces fit together without like the blue parts, so. When I put the paint on first, it like makes the edges mess up when I try to cut it, so I should just do it this way. If I use this one, I can like shape them out a bit easier. Oh no, this one's not very sharp. Heck. Yeah. Posture check. Mm. Mm. Nice. Make sure to keep that sucker moisturized and out of direct sunlight. I'm sure they give you the aftercare run through. Sweet. Yeah, the peeling stage is always a hassle. Tends to itch. Make sure to moisturize and not scratch, and you'll be fine. Ah, wow, I stabbed myself in the finger. Not like too bad, but I should put a band-aid just to stop irritation. Wasn't being careful enough. Should always be careful with X-Actos. Beer beauty, Jetpack. Moisturize me, moisturize me. I'm like actively trying to keep my fingers out of the way, but like it's makes it harder to work with. Should start using work gloves or something. For some reason, it's not too bad when I look at these up close, but when I see them in the camera and they're far away, I can see the cluster of holes effect, and I'm like, ah, no. I could play that in the back if you want. If you want to watch something while hanging out. I'm just listening to Fall Out Boy. Little fuzzy bits off the end. Tripomania, when someone really freaking likes clusters of small holes. Bubble wrap? Oh yeah, because bubble wrap kind of looks like whole clusters. Thankfully, bubble wrap never gave me that effect. There is that type of bubble wrap where it's like it's not closed on the back, so it's just like little open pockets, and I do kind of get it from that. I think it also helps that bubble wrap is like clear. Oh, psychology of rewards. Interesting. Just now that I noticed it, I can't unnotice it, so even if I put this across the table, I can see it, so I'm just gonna kind of... eat these two away real quick.
So in the 1970s, there was this experiment
volume's
where
okay.
a bunch of kids were told to draw some pictures. But before that, the children were split into groups. One group was told that they would receive a reward at the end, while the second group had no reward. After the drawings were finished, the researchers continued to watch the kids in their classroom for a couple weeks, and the results were pretty interesting. And not just the unanticipated arrival of a goat in the classroom. But I'll come back to that, because I should explain what this has got to do with game design. Often in design, we want to motivate players. Perhaps motivate them to learn a new mechanic, or encourage them to use a specific feature, or just get them to play the game for longer. And a popular solution for this is the goal and reward. Do this, get that. Like quests that lead to experience points, challenges that unlock cosmetics, and those cheeky Xbox achievements, which are both a goal and a reward in one tidy package. But I'm here to tell you that goals and rewards don't always work how you want them to.
Yeah,
and in fact, in this video, I'm going to explain how they can even have the complete opposite effect. When Klei was making the initial prototype for its sandbox survival game, Don't Starve, they quickly realised that testers had no idea how to play the game, and they instantly became stuck. So the testers were given a few hints, and once they got over the hump, they were able to experiment, explore, and started to have a lot of fun. In response, Klei decided to create a series of small, tutorial-like quests to help players get started. Survive this many nights, find this many items, that sort of thing. And it worked, but only so much as players learned how to play the game, because beyond that, the quests were a complete and utter disaster.
Oh no.
Klei discovered that players focused exclusively on those quests and thought of everything else as a noisy distraction. They optimized their play in really boring ways in order to finish the quest at hand. They avoided doing anything risky because it meant they might fail, and then they became completely demotivated the second the quests ran out. Klei says, in structuring the game as a series of explicit tasks to be completed, we taught the player to depend upon those tasks to create meaning in the game. In the end, Klei solved its onboarding problem by tweaking the UI to give players subtle hints about how to get started, such as highlighting the most important items you can craft. But the quests were left on the cutting room floor, leaving players to learn for themselves. Because if a game is about experimentation, exploration, or player-guided discovery, explicit goals can limit a player's creativity and imagination, even after the goals run out. This is exactly what drove the development of the cosmic archaeology game Outer Wilds. The developers deliberately avoided giving players explicit goals about where to go or even what you're trying to achieve, so that players are driven to explore this miniature solar system through a sense of curiosity alone. Okay, here's another story. Zach Barth makes problem-solving puzzle games about designing your own automated machines, like Exapunks and Shenzhen.io. In these games, you can make the machines however you like. If it works, it works. But it's actually really fun to go back in and see if you can refine your creation to make it, say, smaller or faster. So in Zach's first two commercial games, Space Camp and Infinifactory, he added a few Steam achievements that encourage this sort of optimization, like the Space Cam achievement, beat the assignment No Thanks Necessary in under 2200 cycles. But in all the games released after that, those achievements are completely gone. What's up with that?
So that was, I mean, really, we wanted to add achievements because that was back when achievements were cool. That was back before I thought achievements were awful. The thing I don't like about them is, like, the game already has a reward system. We have something that's far more meaningful and far less arbitrary than a random threshold.
What Zach's talking about is a bounty of metrics that you can use to gauge how well you've done. There's your own personal score, there's leaderboards that compare you to your Steam friends, and there are these brilliant histograms that show you how your solution stacks up in comparison to every other player. All of these, the strive to beat your personal best or the drive to do better than other players, are extremely strong motivators to do better.
Yeah,
as Zach says, a goal that you set yourself is way more powerful than a goal someone else sets for you. So if a game is about improving yourself, a personal or social goal can be a stronger motivator than a set threshold. My final story comes from the adorable track-laying puzzle game Mini Metro. The game's developers wanted to focus on personal growth and high scores, and so, according to UI designer Jamie Churchman, the team specifically tried to avoid these goal and reward metastructures as they could become a means to an end. For example, the game does have unlockable cities, which is just to limit player choice at the beginning of the game. But Jamie acknowledges that some people will play each city until the threshold, unlock the next one, and when they've unlocked all the cities, they feel like they've finished the game and can stop playing. We should remember that goals are a checklist that can be completed, and like with Don't Starve, some players will exclusively rely on the game to give them purpose and direction. But measurements of your skill, such as leaderboards and scoring systems, have no finish. You can continue to improve on your personal best forever, which partly explains why we can still play Tetris after 3 decades. To truly understand what's happening here, we need to take a quick detour into the world of behavioral psychology. When thinking about motivation, one of the most popular models is the idea of extrinsic and intrinsic motivation. To make it simple, extrinsic motivation is when we are doing a task for reasons beyond the task itself, usually in order to receive a reward, or as that's better known, a job. On the other hand, intrinsic motivation is when we do a task for its own sake, simply because we find it enjoyable or meaningful, or as that's better known, a hobby. Intrinsic motivation is shown to be far stronger and it lasts longer too. People can enjoy a hobby for a lifetime. Extrinsic motivation will only last as long as the rewards are there. Just see if someone will still work in your factory after you stop paying them. And this brings us back to that classroom from earlier. Okay, so the point of the study was that the kids had already shown interest in drawing before the study began. They were intrinsically motivated. Then, they were asked to make a picture, and like I said, one group was promised a reward and the second group wasn't. Afterwards, the researchers continued to watch the kids in their classroom for a couple weeks, and found that the children who received a reward for their drawing, well, they showed much less interest in drawing afterwards. And their pictures were of a lower quality too, which is, wow, way to burn a bunch of kids' science. This is called the over-justification effect, and there's a huge body of evidence that says when extrinsic motivation is attached to a task that we already find intrinsically motivating, we suddenly become way less interested in the task. And other studies show rewards can also make people less creative, worse at problem solving, more prone to cheating, and may lose motivation entirely once the rewards stop, even though previously they were happy to do it for its own sake. Whoops. And I think we can apply this idea to game design, because there are certainly games that lean more towards intrinsic motivation, like games that focus on exploration, creativity, expression, and growth. There are games where you set your own goals and expect no rewards in return. And so when more extrinsically motivating systems like explicit goals, progression meters, and achievements are added to those games, our motivation can take a hit. We become blinkered to creative solutions, we're less motivated to improve ourselves, we put an arbitrary threshold on how much we can attain, and developers now need to create a constant drip feed of new goals and rewards, or risk losing us entirely. Of course, that's not to say that developers should never add goals and rewards to these more intrinsically motivating games, because I think it's clear that some people just aren't very good or interested in motivating themselves. For every Minecraft superfan who generates their own fun, there's someone else who is simply lost and without direction. It reminds me of my all-time favourite Steam forum post. In a thread about the open-ended whodunit Her Story, one user said, "It's up to you to decide when you are satisfied with the information you have found." To which the thread's author replied, "How do I decide when I am satisfied?" That post keeps me up at night. Anyway, the nice thing about goals and rewards is that they can provide structure and progression to play, so they can still be used, they just have to be applied carefully. For example, with goals, it's better to use large, overarching goals that players can complete however they want, rather than restrictive, step-by-step instructions. You can focus on comparative metrics like leaderboards, histograms, and personal bests, rather than absolute thresholds. Make goals optional, like Hitman challenges, or hidden, like Outer Wilds achievements. And in terms of rewards, Well, actually, there is one type of reward that has been shown to not trigger the over-justification effect. Because in that study with the children, there was actually a third group, children that were simply told to go off and draw, but then were given a reward at the end as a surprise. In the following weeks, these children spent the largest amount of time drawing of all, if only by a small margin beyond the kids without rewards. This and plenty of other studies show that rewards can have a motivational effect in intrinsic situations, provided that they're unexpected, reasonably low value, and feel tied to the actual performance of the action. An example of this in games might be...
I'll toss this bunch of crumbs.
be Overwatch's play of the game, which is a short highlight reel showcasing the best moment in the match. It doesn't really do anything, but it's a huge boost to the ego of the player who gets the starring role. And this is all over Nintendo's latest blockbusters. In Odyssey, there's nothing telling you to clamber up here with Mario's advanced moveset, but here's a cheeky cache of coins as a pat on the back. And in Breath of the Wild, every suspicious nook could be a reward, like a Korok seed. As Nintendo's Bill Trinan says, when they create their games, Nintendo's designers don't tell you how to play their game in order to achieve some kind of mythical reward. There are things you can do in the game that will result in some kind of reward or unexpected surprise. In my mind, that really encourages the sense of exploration rather than the sense of, if I do that, I'm going to get some sort of artificial point or score.
Yeah, the whole just like don't question anything, do as you're told kind of thing. That's like why a lot of people leave Christianity, because they realize it's fucked up and controlling, and then people are just often using it as an excuse to control people and be abusive parents and stuff. Some people actually believe in the whole kumbaya, hold hands and love thy neighbor kind of stuff. Some people definitely use it as an excuse to abuse others. Here. Put one here, but I'm not sure, because I don't want to bulk it out too much. I want some for the back. I have little yuzus floating around with water. I can't put them too close to the edge because there's going to be the border of where it attaches to the other side. Yeah, I really like Lisa for that. Yeah. The whole, like, if I'm on the good side of the people in power, that gives me some power kind of freaks. Okay, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I'll have like 6 on this side and 6 on the other side. That's good balance. These will just be floating on the other side. Okay, so I think it's enough oranges. I was worried I might have to like cut them along these points, but I think it'll be better if they are under the water. I don't think it'll mess it up too much. I might have to try to shape some of the little scraggly bits of the corner here. But I'd like to get all the painting done first, so paint these little yuzus, which I keep calling oranges, even though I know right now that they are yuzus. I don't know if I need to put a third layer of sealant on this, but I did put a third layer of sealant on all the other things. Yeah, let me do that, and then while that sealant is drying, I can work on the yuzus. those weird things where after a while I realized that, like, because a long time I've been like, why do these, like, you know, like, the chauvinists and stuff, like, the pickup artists and all that, who are obsessed with conquering as many women as possible, is like, I was like, for a long time I was like, do they think women like that? Because they don't. Then eventually I realized they don't care what the women are interested in. They're looking for the approval of men who are just as insecure as they are, if not even more insecure. So it's just a bunch of desperate, pathetic little baby boys trying to impress each other instead of, like, actually having any real human connection or development or anything. I would almost feel sad for them if it wasn't so fucking annoying. Damn it. I love my cat, but sometimes I think she purposefully sabotages my painting and sealing projects by shedding more hair. Yeah, I just have some sort of daddy complex where they never got hugged as a child, and they just really want their father to tell them that he's proud of them. But that never happened, so they're looking for it in fucking, I don't know, Joe Rogan or some shit. Good video. What did I knock over? God damn it. Fuck. Well, at least the sealant on those had dried before they fell over. Where did that other piece go? Doing that thing where I, like, stubbornly, awkwardly lean over the side of my chair. Because I don't just want to, like, get up and look, which would be easier. Okay, it looks like I've picked up all the pieces and I'm not going to run over them with my chair. Alright. Yeah, like, there are a lot of people who end up looking for approval and someone to just tell them that they're doing something right or whatever. But they don't end up, like, shooting people over it. Like, it's not bad to feel insecure, feel like you just want someone to tell you you're going to do a job or whatever. But the way you deal with it really matters. And the way you encourage other people to deal with it really matters. Oh, cool. Feel free to link. I should look up to see if Casual Geographic has posted videos recently. She probably has. I like that guy's videos. Good stuff. Get to that in a sec after I get this layer on. Oh, that's fine. I'm like weirdly shaky today. I think it's because I finally managed to sleep for a significant amount of time after like weeks of barely getting any sleep.
My lady, war is coming. The enemy is at your doorstep. You are not alone in this fight. Send word to Rohan. Unwrap the beacons.
We're good.
No, I'm good.
Hey, buddy, I got a favor to ask you.
Okay.
Hey, what do you think you're
right,
doing?
I heard about that before with the artificial banana. They're fighting the beacons. Crossover, I never saw coming.
The beacons have been unwrapped. Polendor calls for aid.
And Rohan shall answer.
My queen, just in the nick of time.
Beams of Rohan!
Ow.
Fly, you fool.
Okay, that should be the final coat on those. Paint the yuzus. I'm gonna try to get like a slightly lighter orange than this. They're like a pretty light yellowy orange. But like the reason I thought they were oranges for a long time was because they look like oranges. Oh right, I put my other brushes away. I think I'll get like a smaller one that would be good for this. Oh, crap. Like approximately half orange, half yellow. See if that works. So I tried to paint them all flat at first, then cut them out, but because they like stick to the brush and are kind of hard to paint. But I'll get a better finish like this. So. I was thinking of trying to make like a little Yuzu keychain to go with this. Maybe I should do that to help use up some more of the paint. I can like, where's my circle ruler? There. I think it's over there. I'm gonna paint these and look for my circle ruler real quick to cut out a big circle. Maybe 2 big circles, depending on how much I can fit. Do that real quick. Okay, I might be able to get 2 of them if I go like this and then that, maybe? Let's see. Just barely? Yes, just barely. Okay. Oh. Ah. I forgot Ryosho had a dad because so much focus was on her mom. Aha, the index. They point to something and tell you what to do with them. Jeez. He has to know what the other envision. Oh man. Doesn't even want to interpret art in his own way. Ah, okay. Dang. I mean, this orange too, even though I don't even know if I'm gonna use it for anything. I'll just keep giving these coats until paint runs out. Posture check. Ah, heck. Interesting. It's cool how they tie things into the other games. Whole continuous universe. I'm honestly probably never gonna play Ruina or Lobco because they look really crazy in art. It looks like there's so many things to pay attention to. Olympus Company also does kind of look like that, but I'm already attached to some of the characters, so I mean, like, I'm pretty much doomed at this point. Interesting. Yeah, characters like that can definitely be interesting. Like, I really like the Mandalorian, both the character and the whole show. It's essentially like a paladin sort of thing going on. In the case of like the character Ryoshu's does, can also be kind of like tragic. Or is like completely given up on his free will. And I actually ran out of paint. Okay, I need to actually mix a tiny little bit more for these pieces. Maybe that one. Oh, ow, hold on. Do some neck stretches. Nurse fathers. I missed the whole thing you wrote about the nurse fathers. You type so fast. I have to try to scroll up. Hold on. Type in a mile a minute over there. That's saying something. That freak was the most healthy of all of them. Yeah. Well, good for that guy. He knew what he was about. Yeah, I can't be totally mad from like what little I saw about Ryoshu's mom, because I was like, damn bitch, if I was forced to have a kid and stuck with it, I'd probably grow resentful as well. Oh, jeez. Oh, yeah, that lady was fucked up. Yeah, she had her own messed up alcoholic train wreck way of caring about him. bit more. Oh, damn. Yeah, they're honest psychos. Series of a very specific type of bad parents. There's like some sort of dust or something that keeps getting on this. I don't know if it's from the paint or being picked up from the cutting board. Ow, posture check. Aw. That is pretty fucked up. I think some of the specs in because it's like, well, they're citrus, they're kind of bumpy, but the little dark gray spots are showing through the orange and doesn't look very good. Once again, I end up mixing too much paint. Oh. Yeah, I mean, they're probably gonna have to see what's up with Gregor. Guy's hulking out over there, bug style. Oh, dang. Bug count. Jesus Christ. That is pretty gross. I'm gonna have to scroll back up and find that link in a second. Hold on. There's one thin spot left right there. Get to this paint before it dries. Constantly fighting the little speckly bits. Neck stretches. Spoiler for Kanto 9, don't click.
소나기 바닥을 기어다니는 사각거리는 소리들이.
Ew.
저거 그랭 맞아? 헤르, 우리 이제 어떻게 해야 해?
like, yo, Verge.
길잡이.
Yo, Verge, what do we do about this?
하나만 말해줘라. 우리 사활을 걸고 정신 차릴 때까지 패라면 할 수 있어. 지난번에 신발 간수 제대로 못한 놈도 그랬고 그 잘난 체하던 연구원 놈도 심지어 내가 그랬을 때도. 그런데 저건 돌아오긴 하는 거야?
모르겠군. 저건 뒤틀림이나 에고처럼 새롭게 발현한 힘이 아니다.
그럼 뭔데?
되어야 했지만 되지 못하고 13번 수감자가 품고 있던 것. 그랬기에 꿈꾸어선 안 되는 것들이 꿈을 꾸고 있었을 테고 성멸을 위한 날갯짓을 시작할 거다.
방금 나 그렉의 눈이랑 마주쳤어. 허물일 뿐이야. 아직 변신 중인 번데기처럼. 우리가 벗겨내면 돼. 그럼 돌아올 거야. 그렇지.
그렇게 되길 희망하지.
무슨 될 때까지 하면 그러면 돼.
Okay, so you have to like fight him and try to knock sense back into him. Dang. Let's try a bit more so I can handle enough to paint the edges. I guess I only need to paint like half of the edges because they're going to be underwater, but damn, yeah. It'd be so fucked if they just had him go full bug form and then he just left the party and you didn't get to fight with him anymore. I think I'm gonna have to go clean out my paint water. I'm pretty opaque. How does she know? Okay, I didn't know that about Gregor, but that sucks. I guess they were like, you know what, well, we're going through the fucked up parenting stuff. Let's deal with Gregor, whose mom apparently turned him into a roach. Great. I'm gonna go clean this. Oh, dang. Not only using the classic literature itself at this point, but also the lives of the authors. You know when you're tired and you just start, like, getting cold, you start shivering? Oh, it's almost been 2 hours. Nice. Aha, okay. I do have to do a bit more shaving on the sides now that it's, like, hardened up with the paint. So I think instead of painting the edges first, I'm gonna, wait to do that. I'm gonna put some, like, little spots on these to make them look more citrusy. I'll probably do that after I sign off in a minute. Oh yeah, I was gonna rewatch Daisy Brown, so I saved it to my list. Have you ever seen the YouTube web horror series Daisy Brown about the little, like, plant monster baby Alan? Kind of an obscure series, but it's, like, really good. Agate Moth and Lord of the Flies. Daisy Brown. Yeah, I can, like, Control A, copy. I'll just send this to you here. This is the first, wait, no, that's not right. I accidentally, come on. I sent the wrong thing. Hold on. Okay, I can send another one. That's cool. Copy. I didn't copy that right. I got paint on my control key. Like, get that off. Okay. That should be the first episode of Daisy Brown. It's like, I can't remember how many videos there are, but it's not like a huge series. But it's an old horror web series that's really interesting. And I gotta give you a hint, put captions on. Put the captions on. Not the auto-generated ones, but just the regular English captions. There are secrets in the captions that make the whole thing more interesting. Okay. I'm getting all cold chilly, and I'm gonna finish my little treats and stuff and go to bed soon. And I need to apply more hydrocortisone ointment because I'm getting itchy again. It's kind of hard to figure out when you're gonna get an allergy to a medication that's gonna make you be really itchy for like a week, but I don't recommend it. I don't recommend getting a drug allergy. It's miserable. No problem, man. Keep writing. You can do it. Yeehaw. Encouragement. Don't forget while you're writing to do some stretches and make sure your posture's not too bad and drink a water now and then. And eventually get the sleepy times. Good or not, I hope you can sleep at all. Good night.